So the first step to get access to the space to install the Stealth Flex is to remove the refrigerator by removing the 4 bolts that hold the refrigerator in. You want to slide that out, unplug the refrigerator, and remove it from the van. To remove the sink, there's 3 Phillips head screws underneath the little plastic cover. So just unscrew those and then the sink comes right out. The next step is to loosen the hose clamps on the sink drain and disconnect that, and then lift the sink up onto the countertop. And then you're going to want to disconnect both braided hoses that go to the faucet. And that's going to allow you to remove the sink and get full access to the space underneath the countertop to install the Stealth Flex. So we've located where the carbon filter is going to fit up in the inboard forward corner of the galley. There's a little rib inside here, and so your bracket should be just forward, or the center line of the bracket should be just forward of the rib. So we've located the holes, and we're going to drill the first hole from the inside of the cabinet outboard. We're going to tape the outboard side of the cabinet to make sure the finish of the cabinet doesn't get damaged by the drilling of the holes. So we got our holes drilled from the outside in, and we used our mounting bracket as the drill template. Now I'm installing the screws, and we're going to bolt the bracket into the cabinet. So the UV unit needs to be connected to the 12-volt power in the van, the DC side. So where we're going to tap in here is to the spade connectors that go to the DC power for the refrigerator. So to mount the UV unit, there's 2 fasteners in the back of it that hold the bracket together. We can use these to mount the UV unit to the inside of the cabinet. So to access these holes, we're going to remove the Torx screw that holds the belt together.
And are we putting this back together afterwards?
We are going to, yes. And then pull the UV unit out like this. Then we can remove these screws that are holding the bracket together. So then we're going to mount this bracket with these holes to the inside of the cabinet. So to mount the UV, the first step is to mount the belt bracket on the upright strut in the cabinet adjacent to the drawers. We've got our UV unit mounted to the wall. We've got a straight adapter on the outlet side of the UV, and on the inlet side I'm going to put this elbow, which we're going to connect to later. So the next fitting we're going to install is the shutoff tee that taps into the cold water line that allows us to get cold water into the Stealth system. So the shutoff tee has a 1/2-inch pipe fitting inlet, 1/2-inch pipe fitting outlet, which fits between your cold water line and the braided hose on your faucet. And so we install this right here so that we can tap in there later to get to the cold water. So we're going to install the carbon filter, put the filter in the housing, reach up under through the opening for the refrigerator, and turn the filter to the right and snugly, just hand tight to seal it. So to remove the filter, to change it, it's the same process, just unscrew to the left, unthread the filter, and drop the housing down, and you got your filter. The filter housing will be full of water, so be careful that you don't spill it. Keep your housing vertical so that you don't make a mess on your floor. So this is our stainless steel faucet. It's got a push connect fitting on the bottom. This nut just threads on below the countertop. So we're going to drill a hole through the counter to insert the faucet and then snug it up with the nut. So you need to drill a hole in your countertop for the faucet with a 7/16 drill bit. Start with a pilot hole and work up to a 7/16 size. So for the final cut, just to make sure I get a crisp edge on the hole, I put down some tape to keep the countertop material from fraying. I could have done this on the first step, but you just want to make sure you do it for the final hole. Okay. So now we're going to drop the faucet into the hole and put the backing nut underneath the counter and tighten it up. So now we've got all our components installed, and we just need to move on to connecting up the plumbing. When we install the blue PEX tubing, best way to cut it is with tube cutters. So you get a clean end fitting that's gonna plug into your connectors cleanly. Good. So the John Guest fittings that come with the Stealth systems are push to connect fittings. And the way they work, to install them and seal them, you just insert the blue tubing into the collar and give it a little bit of tension, and that will lock the seal. To release these, you want to depress the collar to release the seal, and then pull on your tubing to separate, like that. So just depress the outer gray ring to release the seal. So we're gonna install our blue PEX tubing. First step is to insert the one end of PEX tubing into the elbow coming off of the shutoff T, which is right here. And that's gonna route around to the elbow on the inlet side of the carbon filter. So we're gonna route the tubing from the outlet side of the carbon filter to the inlet of the UV filter, which is the side that's got the elbow on it. So again, size your PEX tubing so it reaches the distance you need it to. So we're going to route the tubing from the outlet side of the carbon filter to the inlet of the UV filter, which is the side that's got the elbow on it. So the last stage is we're going to connect the outlet side of the UV unit to the faucet through the elbow.
Yeah.
To power the UV unit, we need to connect the 12-volt DC power from the van to the UV. On the UV side, we have a barrel plug connector. On the van side, we just have bare wire leads. So on the Storyteller, the best place to tap into the 12-volt DC power is through the spade connectors for the 12-volt refrigerator connection. So to splice into the 12-volt refrigerator connection, I'm going to use these blue splice connectors. I'm going to trim the power cord to about 2 feet long after the voltage regulator box.
Design.
So what's this?
We're going to split
What's the question?
the leads apart, and
Yeah,
we're going to route this through the little hole behind the between the cabinet, the refrigerator, and the drawers. Let's see here. So this goes here. So to use these, we're going to first connect the black wires, put the splice connector over the refrigerator connection side, and then insert the black wire for the UV unit. Holding it together, you want to close the hatch on the connector and splice them together. So we're going to use some double-sided tape to stick the voltage regulator on the wall of the cabinet, inside wall of the cabinet. So then we're going to connect the barrel connector into the plug on the UV unit. And if you have power, you should see 5 flashes from the blue light and then A green light confirms that it is connected to the power and ready to do your water treatment. So to wrap up your install on your Stealth Flex 5 on your Storyteller mode van, you want to just do a pressure check on the water system and check for leaks and make sure your status lights on the UV unit are acting correctly. So if you check the manual, there's a chart in there that tells you what the status light should be telling you. The basics are that green means it's connected to power, and the blue light should come on when the water runs. So if you have questions, first check the manual, and then if you need more assistance, definitely don't be afraid to email us at info@guzzleh2o.com.